And here is a stream sketch order that involves insert, which is basically a mini sketch at the on the side of the main figure that shows. Usually, people use it for sex, where they use it for showing a close up of like the money shot or just the cock going into the ass or pussy or mouth or internal, where it's like an X-ray of how the cock looks, or whatever body part looks inside of whatever other body part. And so, but this was it's rare. This is the second time they've ordered it. It is still the second time ever with the new order stores that someone ordered the insert with just a head, so a headshot, um, where it's not porn, where it's just a headshot. It's funny how rare that is. And I think I actually and I set the prices so that it'll reflect on um, it's like a middle ground between color and line art. So to compensate, and so when it's just line art, I try to do a bit extra to make up for what would have been the color. So anyway, so they ordered their character, and that's the first order. And so, as an add-on bonus, they go to the insert product, and that's where you find the option to have a headshot in the insert product. That's in the order store. And so I took the time. There was no direction for the headshot, so I took the time to do a profile view um, of sorts, just to show how their head is shaped when turned to the side. Because I think I've been finding a lot. Um, I've been consciously like I've always known that profiles were good, but I haven't actually. It wasn't like a tangible thought of sorts, and so. But lately, it's been really tangible on how important profile references are, and most don't have it. Just to show the profile view to show exactly how the nose and facial structure is, because you're going to get so much from a front view. But anyway, so at first I was just gonna have him with no shirt and just pants on, because sometimes, most of the time, when a client chooses artist choice, I go with the I go with PG, and sometimes I feel like being nude, but it's actually more rare for me to make a artist choice to be a NC-17 where it's like sex involved, and just sometimes I'm in the mood for it, but most of the time I'm not. Um, just because it goes with the idea. And like I mentioned before, I try to go with the first idea that comes to mind, just to speed things up. And that's the problem with the sketches. So I can't wait to finish these pro pieces I have, so that I can reopen the pro service finally, because I really need to reopen it. But I don't want to reopen while I have these two very long overdue projects. So, and I'm almost done, so close. But last month was slow, so this month is looking to be slow too. So I have to compensate. So that's been slowing me up with getting back to them. But anyway, so with this guy, I think at first I was thinking I definitely wanted him to be lowering his pants to down to that area that's just above the cock. And I swear, uh, I've been noticing for a long time now that most fucking people, most artists I've seen, they make the cock way too fucking high. It's like it's so annoying to see. It'd be like right at the fucking belly button. And I'm like, a cock is not that fucking high. And I swear sometimes I get frustrated when I see bad anatomy, like really from people. I'm like, okay, you could do better. Cause how I rate people is how I would rate myself. And so I hold them with the same standard as I hold myself. And so their mistakes, I'm like, what if I made that mistake? I'll be annoyed at shit with myself. But yeah, it's like, man, people be making the cocks way too fucking high. And so I always, it's a conscious thing these days that I make it around closer to where it would be in person. So and this is one of those times where it's like literally right at the base. In oh, and while I was working, I decided to give him a shoulder thing because that's where he was in the ref, and it seemed too plain to have him just shirtless. So I said, "Fuck it, let's just give him something." And most of the time, I don't like to follow if I'm not told to. I don't. I don't automatically follow the clothing of the reference because if I'm not told to, then I want to just do my own thing, and that's like 90% of the time. So and plus it's more fun to come up with something new that maybe the client maybe they'll like it and then they could use that rather than something that rather something not designed by me. Because I like using my own designs for everything. And um, so I also gave the hip was just a thing just to balance the whole piece out. And plus, I like straps, and I like working with how it frames and how it crisscrosses across the body. So I like the asymmetrical of him pulling down his pants and then but around the hip placement. And I like how I did the legs here. I think it probably could have been tweaked just a bit more, but I'm glad it came out pretty quickly, and I didn't have to keep erasing and erasing. I hate that. Like with the previous piece, I just couldn't get the leg right. Yeah, I had to. It took a few different tries, but I love it when it comes together on the first try. And I actually think, oh, I changed it. I think his shoulder is too small here, where the armor is. So but I changed that. And I like doing clothes photos. I think I could be better. So I try to work on that and pay attention to how clothes fold. And I prefer doing tight skins. I noticed that I usually do that because it shows the shape of the. I guess it's easier to work with, and plus I like showing the shape of their legs. And otherwise, it would just be uh, I could have done baggy, I guess, but I think I've only seen this character with the clients' images of them that they usually have tight pants. So I think and plus that's just the easy go to, especially for streams where the point is to go as fast as possible. So anyway, and I noticed how well to me from a reference the character has monolith monoliths eyes. So I try to reflect that, which I think is cool because shows more variety in the imaginary ethnicity of the species. But they look human, so um, they're, I believe, all humanoid designs have two identities: the initial one and the one that they actually are. And as humans, we always it's natural to go with the most humanoid aspects, like to relate to what we already know. So, so if this character had more rounded eyes, you'd be like, oh, it's just some white, some melanin poor Euro facial structure type thing. But the fact that he has monolith is like, oh, so it's like different. It's not like if he was human. Well, personally, I my first impression of him, which is the first identity of all character designs, that first impression is different for everyone. I think, unless it's just so obvious. But so my first impression of this character is that he's just a blonde monolith type character. Uh, and anyway, so he got and I at first I was gonna flip the head, but I wanted to show the little fangs. Uh, and I thought it would be cool. I think it's cool that one is in the front. Like, isn't that cute? It reminds me of kids when they have like just one tooth or something at the bottom. And I rarely see that. I think I may maybe the ref from the ref it looks like it's from the front. And I thought that was cute because I rarely see that when people have when the people have their characters fang out, it's usually just to the side, but it's rarely to the front. And I'm like, damn. Now I wish I thought of that. So I really want to show that the fang in the front and to the side, the front is popping out. And I didn't change it till later, but I actually added spikes to his collar because at first I was going to, but then I forgot. And and like I mentioned earlier in this vid, that when it's line art insert of a headshot, I try to do extra to compensate for the balance of the fee. So of the flat rate fee. So that's why I went back and added the spikes. And I mean that's what made me not be lazy and do the original spikes that I had in mind in the first place. Actually, they were on the same side as the spiked shoulder, but um, I thought it would be. I was picturing it in real life, and I thought it would be hot if they were on the opposite side of the neck collar. So the neck collar should have spikes on the opposite side from where the shoulder spikes are. Like imagine that. Like that would be very attractive to me. If I was to see that, I'm like, ah, it would be like a guy wearing a suit. But that's it. Thank you very much. Bye.